shall now see how to bring an objective glass to the microscope and how to then display quasi-video recording on the ocular. Let us look at first at the finished product. This is the objective glass which goes under the microscope, and above we see a Daphnia moving. If we can bring it nearer with another viewpoint so that we see the image also nearer. We can go back, back. Oops. So, and now we can look also from far away. What we can start with the play. If we press the button play, then the objective glass moves under the microscope and video starts playing. On the other hand, if we press the button back, then the objective glass goes back to the table. Let us now look in detail how this has been done. The first thing is to make an animation. We create a cube that we name it objective glass. It is just a simple cube. Let us have a look. That has been scaled so that it has a form of the objective glass. I didn't put any material here because that is not the topics of this tutorial, so it is simply an objective glass. We animate it so that we go to the animation window, then we click add curve and make a simple animation as it was shown in the previous tutorials. When the animation is done, it comes the important part. We have, if we looked in the project window, we have produced an animation. This is the animation here called glass approach. I called it glass approach. Let us click on this icon. Now in the inspector window we have the details about the glass approached animation. We have to click here on the right. Here on the right is a lock icon, and next on the right side of this lock icon is icon with lines. This is the rightmost icon which we click, and then we choose the debug option. This is important. The debug option, when the debug option appears, there is a lot of numbers, and we have to set the animation type to 1. This is the animation type legacy. I have already set it here to 1. Before it was 2, and in this case the animation does not work with script. So let us set it to 1, a very important step. Now the animation is set OK. The next step is to inspect our object glass and to put an animation here. Originally there is no animation, it is only animator node, and the animation node you go so that I have it already added, but I show you how to add it. You go to add component, then you go to miscellaneous animation, and now it is a multiple. Let us remove this one. This is then the best. Remove component, go to add component, miscellaneous, and animation, and we have added an animation. Now in the animation bracket we click on the circle with the dot on the right side. This is here. Let us click here and choose the animation which we need. It is the glass approach which we have created before. Now the animation is glass approach. You might also note here the animations, the size has increased to 1. It was 0 before, and the element 0 is our element glass approach. Now we can start, and if we start to run, we see the animation is already taking place. So let us look how to control this with script. The script is on the camera 0 move as always. This is the texture runner I shall explain later. but what I shall explain now is the object glass select. Let us open this script. Yes, and this will be here in Microscope, and then object, this is the one. So that's it. Object glass select. Yes, this is for buttons. And now let us look. It is in fact very similar to the script we had in one of our previous tutorials, which is about the buttons. You remember, if I start again this program, there is a script where we can move to different parts of the microscope by pressing different buttons. In fact, we change the camera viewpoints. So from that script I developed this one, which does not have a lot of new lines, but there are some important topics to know. We added a new game object glass. This is the objective glass of our microscope. Then we also added a game object picture plane. This is the projection plane for the pictures, there where the Daphnia is dancing. Then we have the limited distance. This is the distance when the objective glass comes in the vicinity of the ocular, then the film starts to run. So the film runs automatically when you approach the glass to the ocular near enough. We have also one boolean, glass position achieved, and the animation, which is not so important now. Then we initialize by finding the object glass object. As we have several times repeated in our previous tutorials, it is nothing special, it is nothing new. In fact, this part of the clip is just used for checking if you will develop yourself further. Then you will find it useful, because if you turn on this part, so then you can see if you have set the animations right. Let us save now and have a look what I have done. Doesn't happen much. It seems it is not. It is somehow not in. Let us leave this so far. This is not so important in the moment. Then on the graphical user interface we have two new buttons. One new button is the button play. With the button play we start approaching the glass so that the glass moves from the table to the microscope. This is the speed of the animation. Basically it is not need to set it explicitly, because it is automatically 1. But later you will see that we play the animation backwards, and that is why it is a good practice to set it here so that the animation works also forwards in the front direction. These lines are for stopping the animation. We don't need this. In fact, I just put it here in the command so that you can use it if you like. And the last is when it goes for the animation, when it goes back. This is a little tricky. If the animation has reached its final point or anyway, and we would like to remove objective glass from the microscope, then we press the button back. I can show it again here, what I mean. The objective glass is now under the microscope. If I press it back, it goes back. On the other hand, if I press play, it comes again to the microscope. So let us return to in the code. When we press the back button, then first the animation goes to the end point of the animation. This means that the time of the animation is set to the final time point of the animation. Then the speed of the animation is set to -1. This means the animation goes in the opposite direction. And finally we just play the animation like we played the animation when we were running the normal way of the animation. That's all. This is all from this part of the script. And the next script that I shall explain is about the movie. It is very similar as we already had before in our previous tutorial. The only difference is that now here are pictures, not just the numbers as we had before. Let us look at this script. It is again on the camera object, and it is called the object image texture runner. Here, this is this one. It is practically identical to the script from the previous tutorial, only some minor difference. First, the maximal number of images is now 561, and the name of the images is not as we had before, but it is, as you would guess, the first part of the name is Daphnia, followed by the image number. The images are in the resources folder. Let us look, assets, resources. And here there is a lot of Daphnia pictures. It is Daphnia 007, 8, 9, 10 and so on. You produce these pictures by exporting them from a video editing program so that you export individual images. Returning to the script, you see this is the name, and then the names are just loaded and shown on the plane, and that's all. So if we have once again look at the display, that's it. So thank you very much.